Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Sunday Night hanging right here on Sundays.
Right.
Calling it. Well, then again, the show was called the Sunday Chat for 6 months. I was looking at old live streams last night. So welcome to the tribute to our... How was Amanda on the bottom? My did you second? Oh, man, digital, so this is why. Anywho,
I didn't touch it.
We are paying tribute to our recently deceased father, Dave Coombs, and this is his tribute show. And so I'm here, my sister's here, Doug's got to work.
Doug.
We got honorary sibling Charles, who unfortunately Charles lost his father last year, and he told me within 48 hours of that, how he goes, "I'm adopting your dad. I don't like not having a dad." And I'm like, deal.
Yeah.
And of course, our brother from the West Coast, which is really the best coast. Although, no, Dad did agree. Even though he grew up on the East Coast, so he knows.
Cold.
Literally left the East Coast 2 weeks after his 18th birthday.
Didn't wait long.
Yeah. So, anywho's and how's, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, in the chat, you can add us, although it doesn't really highlight when you do that. Throw some question marks on the front end. Stand out with the super chat. They always, because they are different colors, and, well, depending on how much you type, they can be bigger, smaller. Anywho's, yes, so. That's what's happening here. We got a great crowd all right. 67. It was 51 by the time the intro ended, Charles. Wow. 51.
Well, you're,
Purity's just letting everybody in right away.
People love and miss you,
And we do appreciate all the kind words. I'm going to go on through the chat here. I don't know how far back it'll go because literally people were commenting since the stream was created on Friday. So I'm going to go back 2 hours. 2 hours. There we go. A Metalhead Hippie.
Cheers, Ken.
Thank you. Sean McCartney. Good to see you. Been a minute.
Hi, Sean.
Michael Krause. Devil's Horns. Alien Head. Rob Blackmore official. I got with an exclamation mark. So official. I don't want to yell it, too much. But see, I say it like that just for that guy. That smirk. As soon as he hears Alien Head, he already knows it's Rob Blackmore, official or unofficial. So,
Alien.
Herb of Fireside Studio. We got Earl Colai. We got Mr. BH Beach. Is that Bruce?
Bruce.
We got a Bruce. We got a Will Varela. Uncle Will. Brother Will.
Thank you, the lamp.
Cushman NYC.
Cheers,
We got
man.
Joe H. We got Paul McNary, and all the cats are tuned in tonight. All of them. They're like,
They all showed up.
you know what? We're all taking the evening off. We can go out on patrol afterwards. Easy,
Probably pretty cold out, too, I'll bet.
Billy
It's gross
Baloney.
outside.
Great to see Billy. Terry's 333 G's.
All the G's.
All the G's. Exactly. All the G's. Dave Chase.
Dave.
Say Dave. Formerly known as Big Wave Dave.
These are the days that no one knows. These are the days that no.
He's one of them.
Yeah.
And Doug's going, great, now that song's in my head. There's El Barge. I can see Lee in here. My knees hurt. I just realized I'm just scrolling through, and I don't know if anybody different got to. There. Awesome. Music Therapy Laz, our Hungarian homie.
Here he is.
Laszlo.
That's nice.
Hip Metalworks. Always great to see Hip. He made it to town and back. Scott Brockway made it. He wasn't sure if he's shifts all. He's like, hope I can stay awake. Yeah, he's on.
Yeah, he has snoozes right now.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
He snoozes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cousin Doug's here. He says, kill him that he's working tonight. I get it, Doug. We got L&M Guitar Corner. Speaking up late. What's up, Martin?
Cheers, Martin.
Great to see you. He said he was going to try to tune in.
Glad you made it.
What a guy.
Success.
We got Noise Bloom in the house. What's up, Noise Bloom? All Dave, all night. Speaking of the days we know. That's 2 days that are channel.
Definitely.
Dennis Ellis is here. Ben Allmark's here. Brother Chris, unfucking believable.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Oh, excuse me. Had a burp caught in the esophagus. Riff is here.
Just Riff.
Lawrence Cash of Alaska, as opposed to all the other Lawrence Cashes in the chat. I'm just saying.
Specific.
There's good old Jim, JP Page 2, Eddie Fay, Jason Lindholm, Ferd Burfel.
Bird.
Bird.
The Grand Poobah.
There's Seth. Great job as guest on Charles' show earlier today. It's like you guys have known each other forever. Maybe you should look at doing a show together. I don't know. The chemistry was there. I'm just saying.
Jamal's here.
What's up, Jamal?
Hi, Jamal.
Hey, Mark's gas station.
Holy crap, Tinkerbell's here.
Tink. We have a Tink. I was going to easy Trevs.
Good to see you, brother.
Great to see you, Tink.
Very good to see him.
Yeah.
John Landino. Good to see John Landino in here. Michael B. Live.
Definitely.
Not on Memorex. Live. Smart Mammal. William De Silva. Next week's guest on Charles' show. Yes. Pulled me and just plucked his guest right out of the chat.
Right on.
Why not? All right.
Our favorite Miller, Brad Guitar Miller, in the chat.
There
He
you
is my favorite Miller.
Right on.
He's a great person.
Bonkers is here. Josh Tamberg is here.
go. Yeah,
John
Mason
Shane.
Guitar.
Nice. Guitar Man 45. I want to make sure I get everybody today. It's a big deal. Jim Cox is here. Bryce Regal. Now I'm at the point now I got to remember how many. We got 80 people. I'm like, have I mentioned them all? Is what I want to know. Dan of New Jersey. That's right, Earl. Please like and subscribe if you're new, because we're getting close, Charles, to the 5K mark.
Yes, very
To the
close.
point where I don't have to necessarily book guests. It'll be a group show next week for a 5,000 subscriber celebration show next Sunday. That's in charge, eh?
Super exciting.
Here's Billy Blum.
Right on.
I thought it was caught up, and then the chat it just loaded.
Yeah.
A bunch more.
We're still getting in the door.
Yeah, I'm only 3 minutes behind, and so far it's okay. Retro Puffers here, the Lawnmower Tapes, Mesa Guitar Guy. There's Jamal. I'm getting there. Dan of New Jersey, Jason McCullough, Tank. And of course, if you want to support the channel, click that little join button. Become a channel member.
Why not?
Really helps. Oh, there's Ryan Hall. He's in Alabama. Hi, Mom. Hey,
Right
Ryan's
on.
Mom.
Came with Mom's blessing.
There you go.
Mom.
581 in the house. Rico B. Nice. All right. So, Doug is texting me. So I'm guessing his
course
connection
he
went
is.
shite.
Of course. Well, he's got to make his way into the show somehow, right?
Paul Fuchs,
Nana.
Matt Stewart.
That's a Nana move. Can you
Where's the
imagine if Nana had texting?
Dear Lord. This is my son David's show. No, it's actually your grandson Ben's show. No, it's my son David. No.
It's my son David.
Made his way in.
Speaking of, we got photos, some of which are in color even.
Ooh,
Nice.
Actually, I think they're all in color.
fancy.
You know,
At this point, black and white would be the novelty.
I have, there is one involving Nana there, but see, we can't show that one because I'm pretty sure it throws Doug under the bus. I have one of those over
I'm
there.
going to make her big.
You have the power!
There he is. Oh, there he is.
Right on.
That's a great picture.
That picture's got some
Um,
miles on it.
You want to
Uh-huh.
see that telly in much better shape?
Now, can you just push it? Can we see your dad's guitar up a little bit closer? It kind of looks like an Explorer shape with the drumsticks there like that at first glance. Just saying. Just saying.
You talking about a fella looking for
There's
something?
Rob, Tesi Switch.
You love it. Gotta love it.
Okay.
That's fun.
You know, how about this when the telly was new?
We'll make Ben big. 1 second.
I don't even know if Amanda's seen that photo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've seen that photo. That shirt was like purple.
Here's Doug cursing. Doug, I'm trying to do a show here. I'm trying to show off photos of my late father, and you're texting me.
There we go, dude.
I think I have that shirt still. Those are
Yeah.
orange and purple stripes, Charles.
It's yeah.
I love it.
I have some pretty awesome shirts of Dad's in the closet.
Yeah, I can't fit into it now. Could until not so long ago. All right.
Pretty awesome
Doug,
shirts.
interrupting. I have all the dirt on Doug now. You know how Charles, he likes to throw these conveniently cropped photos?
Uh-huh.
Do it. Show
You
it.
got the full.
I'm a victim of that.
No. Maybe that might be a tomorrow night thing. I'm just saying. Maybe a tomorrow.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I noticed the big mutton chops on Dad there, too.
Right.
Yep.
They're kind of hidden over the old hair. But, oh, yeah. Yeah, we've got photos. So that's the only one I have of him. No, it isn't the only one I have playing. Because the alternate one that we were going to do for the thumbnail was the only picture I have him on stage with the Country Raiders.
So great.
Oh, very
Cool.
cool.
Right on.
Very cool.
Now, Amanda, you may remember, you can't read the button, but you know that button that's on the side of Dad's hat?
Yeah.
You may recall they had merch back in the day, and one of the biggest sellers was buttons, because everybody loved buttons, right? So the button that you get at the merch table said, "I'm a Country Raiders fan."
Yeah.
Except Dad said, "I'm a Country Raider."
Yeah.
Why am I all
Right on.
presented now?
Okay, sorry, you were showing pictures.
Okay. There we are.
Wasn't
So
quite
yeah,
sure if you were
yeah.
done yet.
Yeah, all of them said I'm a fan. And I had the merch, Charles, because I worked my ass off at the merch table for a day, and I got Country Raiders trucker cap
There you go.
Right.
with the logo, like on her show poster, black and white truck mesh back, which I
nice.
gave away to Ish the clown, aka Lauren. Yeah, he's like, "That's a cool hat." I'm like, "It's yours." That's the way I roll.
You know, it's funny. Everyone else is going to be like, "You just said Ish the clown," and you just let that roll off. And I was like, "Yeah, like there was nothing wrong with that."
Ish was a ex folk musician, and as many ex folk musicians of the 70s realized by the 80s, the money was in children's entertainment.
Right.
So Lauren, the dulcimer player / guitar player, became Ish. Actually, I can't remember his full name because it was like
You can't say his full name. It's like blah 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 blah.
What it is. So
Listen to that in 3/4 speed, Rob.
yeah, and I was the first member of our family to actually meet Ish the clown.
Yeah.
Because I was to take in which is registration, Charles, for you non-festival folks at the Mariposa Folk Festival that we've talked about with my father and mother, long time. The last year that we did it, all four of us went up as a family. 1986 was the year. I was heavily into Motley Crue, AC/DC, and Kiss. There was none of that music at the folk festival.
No.
Not like
No.
So I was working intake, for overflow. I was like, I can do it. I'm like, artist comes up, says who they are. I go, I grab the envelope with their name on it. It's not exactly rocket surgery. I can do this.
Yeah.
So I saw this long-haired Jewish gentleman. You don't see a lot of long-haired Jewish gentlemen. That's what I'm saying, no shoes. Partner in crime had sandals on it. Like, he was barefoot. I'm like, you're walking across an asphalt parking lot in like July without the shoes. You
Fucking
must
hippie.
really be a hippie. Like that's hardcore hippiness.
Freaky people.
oh yeah.
And and so of course, Charles, I said, "Name please," and he said, easy there, all the syllables. Easy.
Some new ones too.
60 Cycle Steve. I always want to say that with a lisp. 60 Cycle Steve. But I can't, because I can't do that lisp. So he tells me, I'm like, woo! And then the partner who left after Lenny, who was more of the hobo clown as the type, which I understand because he kind of led the hobo lifestyle. Really liked the bottle as you were.
Of course.
None of the mix, all the hard stuff. So And he's like, Ish and Lenny. I'm like, all right. And Ish's wife, Heidi, was there as well.
Yeah.
He was their
Heidi,
closet
yeah.
manager. So she was pleasant. And here you go. And then there was an issue with rooms or something. They got double booked, but we got it sorted. And I did them solid. And they're like, this dude's totally cool. And Mom all of a sudden showed up. She's like, everything's cool. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, this is cool. And blah, blah. And then
Right on.
Dad hit it off with them right away. And,
Yeah.
you know, they knew a lot of people from the city. Because I think, it seems to me they lived in Halliburton. Ish and Heidi lived in Halliburton. Lauren and Heidi, I should say.
I think it's real
North of Peterborough, for those who don't know where Halliburton is. Want to say showed it to Charles Green. You're the man. And milk tea in the house.
Hey, Mel.
Tea. Milk, 1985. Spring of 85. Milt might have been 20 years old. Drove a little Dodge Omni hatchback and was working as the breakfast cook at our parents' first restaurant.
Yeah.
Dodge Omni.
Yeah.
So
Kind of, I guess, the Dodge Chevette. Right?
So Ben, there was a question in the chat that came up kind of twice already,
all right.
and the question was are there recordings of your dad and his
The
band
question, and then hang on. Are we
What?
back? We're back.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I lost everybody for a second, I think.
We did not lose you.
Hey, all I got was there was a question in the chat twice. Phoebe, salut, mon ami. Sir, for me. You said the question is, and then it went.
Love it. Well, the question in the chat was if there were any recordings of your dad and his band out there.
In theory, yes.
Yes, in
Well,
theory.
in reality, there was a limited pressing of a 45.
I'm going to contact the woman, Frida. I'm going to contact her.
Woman. He'll be Al's wife, Frida. Lovely lady.
Yeah. I'm going to contact her and say, hey, you got any of them 45?
Yeah, I don't have a copy. Dad wasn't overly impressed with it. So
No, but it got played on the radio, remember?
if Beer and Backroads was a person, yes. That's a name.
You gotta love that.
That's I like that.
That's enjoyable.
Somewhat, yes, Eddie. More than me. Yeah, I think Dad gave away every copy that he had of that recording. Excuse me. I will say I have some recordings of Dad, his reel-to-reel tapes, which whether or
Yeah, I
not
want to listen to those.
those, you know,
Don't
hey,
you have
Mark.
to bake them or something before you play
DJ
them?
Play Nice. No, what I was going to say is, I don't think there's really much on there per se, because going through conversations with it is never like, oh, I got to find that one tape that had the song, blah, blah. It's just him and my godfather getting high, turn on a tape recorder. That's all it is. You know, it's a lot of giggling. Kind of like one of our off-air hangouts, Charles. You know, just a lot of doodling. Yeah. Bo asks, how about a recording of you and your dad jamming together? We never really jammed. I've thought about that for the sake that I do remember. When was that? That would have been. I was working at Golden Chicken, so around 97.
Ben used to work at a chicken place and he wore a Hawaiian shirt.
I wore a Hawaiian shirt. It was next Mary Brown's, which is, if you don't know what a Mary Brown's is, it's like in KFC. Okay, so I worked at a fried chicken place for the front counter. What's up, Eric?
True that.
That was my kind of my last restaurant gig, and I was only kind of called into that because the owner reopened the place, and he needed someone he could trust to run the front and run interference for all corporate people coming in looking for money from failed franchise, which was just being reopened under new name, same recipe, total fly by night.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I want to say I was like 97, 98 range, and Dad was going up to Gary's one night to hang out, sis.
Yeah.
He was living up around Campbellford area. So,
Yeah.
I said, and he's like, for whatever reason, I'm like, I'll tag along. I haven't seen Gary in a minute. And so we went up there, and Dad, of course, took the Martin, as he does. And Gary had his Sigma that Dad got him when he had his back surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so I remember, because like by that time I'd been playing a few years, I knew chords. Like I could strum along, follow along, Same thing I tell all you guys. Just watch the guy's left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But my father, being the king of rhythm, the way he was, Charles,
cool.
he could head fake a chord change like nobody and not miss a beat. Like you see it, okay, he's creeping the middle finger, he's going for the G chord, and no, we're going for a C instead. Or you're gonna go for a C chord, and at the last second we'll just pull in those fingers and make it an A minor. You got me again, Dad. And he'd be singing, and then he would grin because he's like, I got you, you son of a bitch. You don't know how to use it. One of the, anybody that's watched many of Dad's yes, Milt was Walter. Dad's Father's Day specials that we did together. He didn't have patience for amateurs, a whole lot. And he really liked. Yeah, he liked it. That's how you knew you were friends when he didn't fuck with people he didn't like.
Right.
So yeah, and so I remember, and we did like all the hits. Like my dad knew so many songs. Jeez, like there was all the stuff he performed with the band, but then there was a time. We'll put it this way, Charles. Okay, get this. I keep pulling Charles on this. Here's your fact. When my father, before joining that band, okay,
mm-hmm.
by the early 70s, he knew 1,000 songs.
Nice. Well, it's quite obvious that your dad is where you get your sense of humor from. And on all those Father's Day shows, the two of you together, it was there in like rare form, right?
Right. It's kind of like Doug and me in that respect. It's a Coombs thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember him calling out people in the chat because they had called him Mr. Coombs with a question. He's like, "That's my father." I'm not. Yeah, Dad was always Dave. He's not Mr. Coombs.
I got the printout of the condolences on his obituary, and Kevin that played with him in the Country Raiders. He said, "I met David in 1985 when I joined Country Raiders. Playing the bars and having the opportunity to learn from him was amazing. I can still hear him now, him saying, 'Now, son,' in that southern drawl whenever he started with what I knew I was in for a lesson of importance." Yeah. So funny. Someone else, Frida, I think, wrote something in here as well about like he had this whole persona on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really interesting.
Well, that was the thing. Like,
I like that.
One of the many things he taught me was, as soon as you walk out that front door, he was Dave Coombs of the Country Raiders, or he was Dave Coombs of Maggie's Restaurant, aka Mr. Maggie. We'll get into that whole period of time. He was always, and like I remember, king of the phone calls. Like you knew he was on the phone with a buddy or a crony or someone, Charles, because you pick up the phone because outdoor voice, always on the phone. It's always hi guy, every guy. It doesn't matter who. Hey guy. You know that, right, sis?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, Dad's on the phone with somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, Dad's never on the phone. Hi guys.
No.
Easy. What's up, Gary?
No, you could tell by his voice.
Yeah, see, Bruce mentions it.
Music related.
Although he tagged Ben Allmark in it. Come on. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay, my internet keeps taking a dump, clearly.
Probably because of your rain.
Yeah, it's
the rain is so heavy.
really
Coming in clear here. I think it's StreamYard is
All right,
having
well, there we are.
a couple of blips. It was kind of quirky earlier, too. Sun flares. Everyone's playing sun flares.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of brings that question. Did your dad have kind of like a routine before he went out to perform?
A lot of hair gel. He spent a lot of time in front of the mirror.
Yeah. Maybe, yes.
That's where I get it. Like the primp, he primped. He wanted to look exactly the way he wanted to look. That was important because it was all encompassing.
I mean,
I think I'm back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, definitely, from what you're saying, he's walking out of the house with the game face on, right? He is.
Yeah. He smelled good. He looked good. He talked in a totally different accent.
Was there a ritual before he walked out on stage? Do you know?
I don't know. Eat some cough drops. Like, I don't know. He was all, I don't think so. Because, not that I knew. That's a good question. I was never really backstage during performance when he played, though.
right. He did his ritual if he had one.
And some people will keep that ritual to themselves as well, right? Go off
private thing to do in the change room before you do it.
Yeah.
Like, I never heard him vocal exercise. Like, he just was not like that. In fact, he couldn't stand. Like,
What's
he was
going on
very
now?
big.
We got 2 bands coming up.
Oh,
Oh,
I switched
Nobody
to
moves
the
back.
connection here. Hopefully, this will be more stable. I'm getting new internet again. Fuck this company. Like,
oh
Wow.
dear.
I thought, Trev, he was trying to do the stereo bend.
oh, this is pissing me right off. All right, I think I'm back.
Yeah. I can hear you. I can see you.
Yeah, I can.
You're good to go.
Hey, there's Doug Strong. What's up, Doug?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Doug's here.
Yeah,
You're like, yeah,
didn't
I'm
like-
catching up. Tom Raines. What's up, buddy? John Shane.
Halls. He ate Halls. Halls,
Mhm.
menthol, cherry.
No, not menthol.
But-
Yeah, cherry.
Yeah, but some people might not know what Halls are.
Cough drops.
Yeah. But he didn't like a trained voice. We'd listen to something and he'd like, hear that, hear how they're holding that note the way they are. That they took lessons. And I can't unhear it now.
Right.
And I'm like, because it's too exact,
Mm-hmm.
as I believe, like I agree that there are certain advantages to vocal lessons, meaning maybe your breath and maybe how to protect your vocal cords. But after that, it just sucks the soul at everything. Then you're like a Broadway singer where everything has to be bang on all the time. And I don't like that,
The modem, since I'm not using it. There we go.
Yeah.
I just don't think he didn't do vocal warm-ups. Did he, Ben? Did he have any rituals?
He didn't need to. Dad was always singing.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
What's up, Rob? Rob Baker in the chat.
Baker.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think because I lost my train of thought. Last I was talking was when he taught when to go out of the house. He's always on.
A lot of depth hair gel.
Yeah.
Old
But blow
Spice.
dried, so then it didn't look like it was gelled.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, he had good hair. Black.
Mom would always go, "You take longer in the bathroom primping than any of us." He's like, "Hey," and it'd come out, the hair was perfect, and the wafting of Old Spice as the door would open. Oh, it would take up the whole upper floor of the house. You're just woo.
Dad collected every Old Spice bottle he ever used. He saved it.
Yeah. We finally got them in the 90s, or 2000s.
Yeah.
To get
Yeah.
rid of 'em. But it's funny because you mentioned the halls. I heard that.
Yeah.
For years, you open up the guitar case, his guitar case. There was halls, nail clippers,
Yep.
a pencil, a little graphite in the nut or on the saddle, and a spare set of strings,
Yeah.
and a string winder, and that guitar case. Like, my God, like that telly sat out for 2+ years before the Old Spice wafted out of it. Because, and then you play it, so you know that awareness on the neck, the open port. That guitar had an Old Spice / old guitar smell. No capo for the electric. Capo in the acoustic case, yes.
It was a well-groomed telly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, I bet you if I open that guitar case now, it's got a smell. Amanda, you know that smell. Like, it was a combination of Old Spice, Halls, and wood. No other way to describe it. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we got a super chat. Guitar Miller.
It's true, though.
Continue prayer for both of you. Dave is jamming away with some good. He's playing again. He's playing again.
I know. I was thinking of that. I'm like, now he can play again.
Yeah, geez, I can just imagine that jam session.
Yeah.
Hey guys, remember me? And it'll be like, that's third part harmony singer, because that's what Dad was known for, his harmony part. Because he was the ultimate sideman. I'll make you the star, son, as he would always say. Much like Trev, you'll know, in the Water Buffalo meetings, our good friend Bo here in the chat, he says, you play whatever, I'll just make you sound good. And when he said that the first time, I was just like, oh my God, because I'm like, that's so what our dad would do.
Right.
So, awesome. I was like, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
First thing that's going to happen when he gets up there, Al's going to ask him to get the band back together.
Right.
Can't do it. Well, actually, that original lineup in that thumbnail, they could, because I'm pretty sure Nelson's passed away at this point.
Yeah.
And I think Randy, their original drummer, passed away as well for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like, car accident, because Randy was the youngest.
I like Terry's comment there.
I like to think David is back with Maggie watching us celebrate them. Yep. Are you ready? Yeah. It's starting now, David. Come on. Your hair looks fine.
And then he's going, oh, stop telling them all this stuff.
Well, the cat's chiming in now, apparently. What?
She's got something she likes to share.
It's her dad's story. He used to feed me. Let me lie in the stomach. Is that it? Yeah.
Nope.
The new guy's kind of bony still. Deuce?
Kinda.
This is about right for me. A nice big crowd. What I got? Internet goes to crap. Cats howling away. Roofs leaking. Yeah, keep those super chats coming in. We got a drippity drip up here as well.
Oh my.
That's funny.
So my niece wants to know what year the thumbnail pic was from.
That would have been right when Dad joined, because if you notice, I don't think he's actually wearing Western boots.
Oh.
He's wearing his Beetle boots.
Right.
So that would be 84, I think he joined the band.
Those were good boots.
The Beetle boots?
Yep.
They were just bought at Kmart.
They were cool.
Because he had staff discount forever. And then they stopped making them, and he bought like 4 pairs to last him.
Hey, Dwight.
It's kind of a short half-length cowboy boot with a zipper up the side.
Yeah.
Kind of slight heel.
Yeah.
And then he got actual Western boots.
My dad wore those all the time as well.
First pair were the tan ones, which I inherited by high school.
Yeah. Everybody in my class, everybody thought Dad was a cowboy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, nothing better than Dad showing up for school to pick you up because you'd hear those cowboy boots coming down the hallway.
Down the hallway.
And Milt in the chat mentioned the velour jacket. I still have the velour jacket.
Oh my!
Oh yeah. And it wasn't your dad. It wasn't even Dad that would like come to see you. It was Dave Coombs, the entertainer.
Oh yeah.
He would just
Velour jacket, the hat, like all these photos you see of him on stage. That's his everyday. All changed was the jeans and the dress shirt.
Yeah.
I'm doing the show.
So everybody thought Dad was like the superstar.
Yeah. Like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
You can really hear her.
Yep.
She is going to town.
Wow.
She wants to be part of the show.
Yeah. Oh, I think she's getting brought on camera. now.
She's got a couple stories to tell us.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's enough to drive me to drink, Charles. That's enough to drive me to drink. Oof, me. Also, again, if you want to help out the channel, click the join button. We need some more channel members. Just saying.
And if you haven't given him the thumbs up to this show yet, what are you waiting for, really?
Right? And please, of course, subscribe. That would be nice.
Yeah, let's get him over that 5,000.
5K.
We are 2 away from 5K. Fella thought he would just check.
Nice.
All right, do I chance and try
So exciting.
back to regular internet now?
If you like, sure. Switch back. See what happens.
All right, we're gonna
For science.
Yeah.
The cat said no, so that's 2 yes and 1 no.
The cat is streaming Meowmix commercials upstairs.
There may be 2 of me again, Tepper. We'll see what happens. Will it allow without kicking?
2 is a lot.
Okay, Amanda, what do you think's going to happen here?
I'm hoping it messes up just like for a second. Just to see him get all Yosemite Sam about it.
Low. Okay, signal quality. All right. Oh, apparently it's working now. We'll see. Turn off the personal hotspot. Save on the battery.
The battery.
Yeah, the battery. Thank you, Michael B. Live.
Michael B.
I'm going to open up there. Oh, yeah, it's a chicken that's like dancing. I don't know, YMCA. I don't know. He's wearing a necktie, too, which is odd.
What is that?
Bee Gees was my favorite family.
Let me use my bifocals. Is that a chicken?
It kind of looks like an egg or a pear or something.
I don't know.
I'm not wearing my glasses. For my own glasses.
I'm wearing my glasses and I still don't know what it is.
I'm not sure where this is going.
Kind of looks like an avocado with a.
Got all the heartburn.
This is riveting.
Yeah. So,
Watch us try and figure out what the fuck this sticker is.
if you want to know signal chain for Dad's performances, all right, well, there's the acoustic, which is, yep, which is, a 72 Martin D28. I think that's what it was. Shade Hope. So, and then for the electrical, being the 67 Telecaster into a variety of amps over the years. She has to drop a deuce. That's what the howling was. I want to go inside. Now I hear the litter box, which she gave up. She understands. Cat needs to drop a deuce. So great. Thanks. Yeah, that's going to smell lovely in here in about 14 minutes. It wafts across.
Okay.
And how? So yeah, including we do have back here a Baldwin Professional, which is a 212 combo amp.
The one that's under the bucket?
The one that's under the bucket, so it's a load-bearing amp currently. Holding up the bucket. What's up, Donald Fisher? How's it twang?
So is it true that Dave turned Willie on to the Baldwin amps?
That was a mutual thing. I think they both stumbled across this tone. Versatile amp clearly works well for Telecasters and nylon strings. Considering, Charles, it's actually a keyboard amp by trade.
Of course.
Maybe that's the thing, because it's a full range speaker, right? Because for keyboard, you got both ends of the spectrum there. I'm hearing the scratching again. Yep. All right. Perfect. That's going to stink. So, the Baldwin after that, like I think I showed in the one photo on stage, he was running the PV Classic 50 for a period of time to replace the Baldwin. Thank you.
Excellent.
And after that, he had a early 70s, I think, Fender Vibrolux, which was I then inherited. No gain. None of the gain. Is again.
So would that be a good pedal platform?
It'd be an amazing pedal platform, Trev, because the only way to get it to break up would be because there's just a master. So you got to crank on that, to ear bleeding levels, to get it to break up. I didn't know that, because I'm not Joe Bonamassa, right? But I remember I started out on bass and playing alone, trying to learn bass. I want to learn guitar. All right. So Dad said, use mine until you get one of your own. I'm like, all right. So January 1st, 1989. So I remember the day I started playing guitar. Plugged the Telecaster into the Vibrolux, and I'm twang, 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 like House of. You're basically doing Rumble, Link Ray. That's it. Right? Not even that much gain, Charles. It was cleaner than that. Okay. And I was like, wow, that's a really clean tone.
Right.
And so I said to Dad, how do I get it to distort? He says, why? I said, well, I want to sound like AC/DC. And he said, why? I was like, well, Dad, all my heroes, they got the distortion. He's like, that's the cover up because they don't know how to play. That's why they have the distortion. They don't know how to play. I'm like, easy there, Steve Cropper. So I'm like, come on. Help me out. Help me understand. I'm like, he says, well, you always tell me, Charles, he likes a clean tone with a touch of gain. You'd always say, just a touch of gain. Touch of gain. Think John Fogerty, right? Just a touch of gain. I'm like, I get it, because he loved that tone. He loved Fogerty's tone. And I'm like, okay. So he's like, just give it some gain. So go back. Look, volume, bass, middle, treble. No. All right, let's look at the other check. Volume, bass, middle, treble, and then 2 vibrato settings and a reverb. There's no gain on this amp, Dad. He goes, no, because I know how to play. My dad.
You can just see him sending you off the first time, right?
Oh, fuck yeah. Knowing full well it ain't there. And he's like, AC/DC, not bad for a bar band. And I agree. Greatest bar band ever in the history of bar bands. But, especially the early stuff, the Bon Scott stuff, that's bar band stuff. It's boogie woogie, upbeat. Yes, Scott Brockway, Fogerty did use custom amps.
Yeah.
Yes, Scott says, but your dad had the fuzzy. No, my dad had the fuzzy. And again, we talked about the reel-to-reel tapes with my Uncle Harold, a.k.a. Uncle Don, a.k.a. Uncle Whacker, a.k.a. Uncle Jack. These are all nicknames that we call each other. They either call each other Harold, Jack, or Whacker.
Yeah.
Hey, Whacker. Hey, Whacker. Sure. And I bet you half those fucking reel-to-reels is them saying that to each other because they're high as fuck.
Probably.
That's all it is. It's like Dave's not here. So, so Fuzz Pedal was somehow when they split up their gear, Uncle Harold had the Fuzz Pedal because the Fuzz Pedal didn't come into our possession until I was in high school. And we were up for a visit, and I hear, hey, Harold, look what I found. And Dad's like, oh, far out. Oh, you want it? Because he had already stopped playing by that point.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a battery in it, Charles.
Is there?
There was a battery in it, and all the fur to the point where I couldn't even see the clip anymore. It was just eating away. I'm like,
blow down.
Oh.
I'm like, all right. So,
Oh, that's the pedal that Lawrence did work on.
Lawrence did take a look at it, yes. I took it into electronics class, deleted on the old battery clip, walked into the tool crib, parts count, snagged on another battery clip, free of charge. Started it on, easy to do, red to red, black to black, little shrink wrap, plugged a fresh battery in it, turned it on, plugged it in, it worked. Mr. K gave me a grade on it. Bonus content, sis. He's like, extra credit. I'm like, yes, score.
Nice.
He's awesome.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you stopping in.
Appreciate you.
I wish I still had that Vibalex. Oh. The problem was I wanted to retube it, and it was going to cost me like $300 to retube it at that time because you couldn't get tubes. Nobody had tubes, and tubes were like $50 a piece for some reason to get them in. It was ridiculous. The special order tubes. It's like, why would you want tubes? Everybody's solid state. I'm like, because I got this old amp, and it uses tubes because it's an antique.
Needs it to work.
Because I remember the only guitar store in town, Charles, was Arden's, and you walk in there, and it was wall-to-wall PV. It was all the PVs. All the PVs. On one side, it was all PVs. It was like a big drum riser, just covered in PVs. All the PVs. Yeah. And then the other side was all Hondos and profile guitars and Charvettes. That's right, Charvettes.
Oh, my.
Which, much like anything with et, unless it's core, I don't want any part of it. Like a Chevette to a Corvette is the same as a Charvette to a Charvel. Right.
What I always enjoyed was the EMG story. When your dad went and got the EMG.
I'm gonna take the dog back.
All right. So the problem is when you play in a decent bar band, I don't care where, Sup 8, Absolute Mayhem, anywhere in North America, we'll say. I can't speak for the electricals over in the old countries and stuff, right? But around here,
Old countries.
around here, you're hoping for a decent ground and about 110 volts coming out of that outlet, right? Maybe 115, whatever. But it could be 105, it could be 125, and various degrees of 60 cycle hum due to the lack of ground being used because half the bars were still like knob and tooth and whatever. Fluorescent lighting, whatever. And again, the man just took the Telecaster, plugged it into a Vibrolux, cranked on it because they didn't mic the amps, so stage volume, like 3 or 4, so clean. It was like, and he was so easy. I want to hear that. So he had heard about these newfangled active pickups. Some kind of mystery. So he and possibly Gary, I think Gary was involved. The two of them popped in the car, skipped over the border, went to Syracuse, New York. So that was the closest store they found that had these EMG pickups. Ooh. So then he had them put in because, again, the guy could build a car from 4 tires and a couple frame rails, but he never worked on his own guitars. Told me all about soldering because he was one of those people. He wasn't solder, it was solder.
Soldering.
He's like, oh yeah, I can solder and blah blah blah. I'm like, well, why didn't you? No. I do remember Milt. Yes, Dad helped Milt get his first instrument, which was a 5-string banjo from Clyde. Wow. Still has it. Picked up.
That's fun.
A deal used at Arden's Music.
I'd love to own a banjo. I wouldn't ever probably learn how to play it, but I'd still like to own one.
I want one of those banjo guitars. They can just play guitar and it sounds like banjo.
Well, just to keep people guessing, right? Hang it up on the wall.
So, yeah. And, Charles, had the EMGs in the telly, and I thought about snagging them out, right? Because I'm not gigging with it, right? And I remember doing a show on another channel. And, again, one of the Daves I know that's no longer with us, Dave Nesdall. Oh, that's an amazing guitar. It's awesome, on camera. Oh yeah, it's amazing. Blah, 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 blah. You know, we talk all about it. Blah, blah. Show ends. As soon as show ends, he's like, "So do you want a real set of pickups for that guitar?"
Love it.
Right?
Oh,
He had
Dave.
a set of Twisted Telly pickups, and he was going to set them on up for me. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Metalhead Hippie in the house, folks. Check him out. Great community.
Hey.
Right on.
But because I was looking out, because when I got back into music, let's say about 15 years ago, now 13 years ago, 2010, I got back into music, we'll say, because I met that guy named Richard Shanahan. So maybe
that
guy. Because I was working with his girlfriend at the time, and she's like, "Are you interested in doing like a couples night dinner?" I'm like, "Not really." And she's like, "No, you can bring your girlfriend over, and we can hang with my boyfriend." I'm like, "No, like you're cool, but I don't know who you could be dating some Poindexter. I don't." She's like, "I'm like, well, what? Like easy, like what's your boyfriend like, right?" And she's like, "Well, he plays guitar and smokes a lot of weed." I said, "Count me in." Total 180, just like that. Sean McCartney's back. What's up, Sean? So,
Okay.
which was the first time we went over for dinner. It was Rich and me hanging out in the music room, fogging out that room, and then we got yelled at because it was basically, "Hi, how are you?" And I went off with him until dinner was ready. So yeah, I wasn't really into music, and so when I got back in, I had him clean up the telly and stuff, and I was like, I don't know, EMGs, I don't know, batteries and digitals, I don't know. And then so I do a search on the inner Google here. Well, who uses EMGs in a telly? All right. See, you laugh, Charles, but there was only one answer at that time, and that was a fella that had a signature set of EMG telly set pickups, and that's one of the other guitar player from Nickelback, not even Chad Kroeger, the other motherfucker. And I'm like, I'll be damned if I sound like Nickelback. That's not an option. I appreciate that, Jim. Thank you very much. Thanks, buddy. And so, so then, we're fine. But I left him in because I'm like, that it's a time capsule. It's 80s. Ooh. And as I got, hey, Valeria.
Right on.
Hi, Mary. How are you? Queen.
Yeah, it got to the point where, we got into doing the YouTube thing here. And I thought, well, it's different, because snapshot of the 80s. That's why I kind of liked it. It's like a car that was hot rod made in the 80s, right? Put away. It's going to have certain graphics on it, paint, what have you, right? It's a snapshot. And then, show it off. Nez thought that was cool until he's like, yeah, you want real pickup? Easy, So, but, like I said, and then, became friends with RJ Ronquillo, who's infatuated with the 80s. I'm like, I got to tell you with EMGs. He's like, holy crap, that is 80s. I know. And then, fast forward to 2023, and Fender decides to release the Whalen signature telly. And there's Shooter, his son, saying, well, it's based off, too, because the old man went through a bunch of pickups and wiring in his number one over the years and ended up with a set of EMGs in it. I'm like, oh, really? Really? I wonder underneath that fancy leather job's really just a blonde telly with EMGs in it, are you saying? So now they're in for life. They're not because that it's like the guitar you're doing for Charles Green, single humbucker with the Floyd Rose shaped object. It's basically it's Eddie's guitar without the stripe job. That's Waylon's guitar without the leather.
That's right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Logic.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Philip. EMGs are like a Monte Carlo SS. Well said.
Well, it's great lines, right? Waylon, Dad.
Yeah. Which, well, you gotta remember though, Dad was more a Willie guy. Yeah, Waylon, what's with the phaser? I'm like, fuck off, it's cool, Dad. That's how I rebelled. I was like, Waylon, I'm putting effects on. I use all the effects, Charles. He's like, real player goes direct. Nope, I'm using all the effects. That's how I rebel. How do you rebel? Selectively, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but Dad was a Willie guy because close your eye. When Dad was on his game, if he did a Willie cover, you wouldn't know it was a Willie cover, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now you see it more single act, tribute acts. They used to have tribute showcases, Charles. Like hits of country music, and you had a Dolly Parton impersonator, Kenny Rogers, a Willie, a Waylon, Merle Haggard, George Jones, which is really just a drunk guy.
Yeah.
Of course, that's what you need.
Prove me wrong, George Jones. How many times did you play just liquored right out of your skull? Right? So
Didn't he do a lot of Vegas?
yeah, so and there would be these traveling acts. And so Dad was offered multiple times, come on the road, do a Willie impersonation. Just grow out your hair, we'll dye it red, blah, blah. No. Got a family. Can't go out on the road. Because he's probably thinking back to himself, Amanda, I turned down John Bryan in 76. If it ain't going on the road with him, I sure as hell ain't going out with you motherfuckers. You may have to, Unbelievable. You may have to.
Yeah.
You do a thing. And it sounds good. So.
Well, since we told the EMG story, that means we have to tell the Martin story, right?
Which one?
You know the one.
The acquisition or the relic job?
No, the relic job. I think it just has to be told.
Well, I thought you liked the acquisition one you liked as well, though.
Oh, no, I think we go from the acquisition into the...
Oh, okay. Well, okay, so the acquisition one is, folks, around that time, I believe, don't quote me, a Martin D28 retailed for $650 Canadian. Okay, and that's the number we're going to use for the story. Okay. No, and the reason being is, so early 70s, $650. Okay, except Charles, Dad didn't want to pay that much. I'm sure you can fucking relate because I know there's a Gretsch sitting in a certain pawn shop locally.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't his price. So he called around all these various places, and he found one store in all of Toronto, Trev, and surrounding regions, which is, that's basically half the music stores in Canada, we'll call it. Found one for $500. $500. But it was away a bit. Right? So forget what the deal was. I can't quite get there, whatever. So he's must have been out in the West End of somehow, because it has high note music from Oakville, which is southwest of Toronto on the way to Burlington/Hamilton. He was in there, Trev, found one.
Bingo.
Woo! I'll give you $500 for it. No. $650. No, $500. He's like, you can't get a Martin D28 for $500. He says, oh, really? He says, I got a guy at another store that can. Really? He says, yeah, call him. All right, if you can prove, So Dad had that store, called the other store. Dad, yeah, it's Dave Coombs here. You remember you offered me that D28 for $500? The guy's like, yep. He goes, you know that? Yeah. So he got the guitar for $500.
Beautiful.
Love it.
I don't think we'll talk about the other relic job on this broadcast, because someone just look and go look.
Yeah, you are getting a look, yes.
See, some already know.
I can tell the story. I was very young and I don't recall.
That's true. The year was 1983, I believe.
Which means I was 5.
Maybe 5. Because birthday in July. She could have been 4. She could have been 5. It's 50-50 chance. Mm-hmm. It was probably summertime, because we're home and Dad was looking after us. So it was probably in the summer. So just 5. We'll say just 5. Just.
Okay.
And the way I can figure it, based off what I know, because I wasn't there. I was in the living room. And Dad was probably playing for Amanda, because he was just hanging out in his music room, doing his thing. And there was, I believe, a phone call. So Dad put the guitar down, not in the stand, apparently. I think he put it down. Easy.
It was on the floor. I do recall that part.
Yeah, because he probably just put it down because you could do that because it's not a Gibson. So he probably just laid it down on because it was carpet. He had nice
I do recall that.
green carpet, short like commercial carpet, but really plush. So it actually had give. And he got up to answer the phone, and probably someone got up to come as well. Had a slight amount of her mother's DNA in her, so snagged on a guitar stand while probably getting up, which tipped over the guitar stand, which did a header into the top. So now there's a load-bearing Mariposa decal on the front, just to keep it from. Now that's one of the few times I don't know if Dad actually cursed, but all I know was I heard because it happened, and we kind of heard it. Dad's like, "Call you back," because he probably answers the phone. "Hi, guy," not even a hello. It's probably, "Hi, guy," or "Hello, hey, guy," and then and he went back, and then it was Ben, or actually Benji at that time, probably. Take your sister upstairs. Because Dad's probably like, I need to just like have a cigarette, sit down, and not kill my kids.
He needed a moment.
Now, ironically, not long after that, he was working at Brian's Music part-time. The local Fender rep came in and offered, he knew him from back in the day up in the city being Toronto, for those who don't know. That's what you refer to Toronto, because it's literally the city. Knew the guy, and he offered to send the guitar off to Martin to have it retopped. But Dad went, "Nah, I like the way it sounds."
Right.
Free. Could have had it done for basically, I think it was basically free, but
Customized tone.
Well, part of it is because everyone knows, they always say, like Martins, they take like 12 years. You got to play them for 12 years before they start to sound good. They have a break-in period. And I guess
break-in period.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, but settle-in period. Smallmouth guy, thank you very much. And that thing it's the guitar. Charles hates it because every time I take it out, it's like once a year I take it out and it's still in tune. Like, it's just perfect.
And it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
The top may get fixed at some point, or at least cleated. I'll probably cleat it. Why fix it? At least cleat it. And that's money down to Hamilton when it gets all the work done on it, which is a whole other expense. That's a down the road expense because it needs work. But it doesn't need a neck reset yet. When it needs a neck reset, that's when I figure you get it all the work taken care of.
Well, all the stops then, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like it needs a new pick guard. It's got the crack from the pick guard to the bridge. It's got the crack through the peg holes, which they all get. It's like those are all Martin guitars have that happen.
Wear and tear, yeah.
Well, it's shrinkage over time and stuff, right? It's a 50-year-old acoustic guitar with a solid spruce top.
Mm-hmm. Done a lot of moving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole thing, right? Every time you strum a chord, it moves.
Mm-hmm.
And you have some kind of toxic pickguard that peels up in the corner. That's how you get the crack, because the pickguard keeps shrinking, pulling the wood apart.
Right.
Devil's Horn, Alien Head, Rob Blackmore official. It's okay, Amanda. I got into my mom's food coloring and dyed myself green like the Incredible Hulk during Saturday morning cartoons. Not the best idea.
That's fantastic.
What's up, Dan? Great to see you, my friend.
You have to love
Hi,
it.
Dan.
Dan just recently got himself a telescope, Amanda.
I know. I've been following.
Right?
I love telescopes. I have one.
That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah. Yep. Space is cool.
All right, I got another photo.
Okay.
As we touched on it, because our dad was a musician, obviously. He was also a bit of a gearhead, we touched on. So one year, our uncle was racing motorcycles down in Daytona 200, and sport races. And so Dad went down as pit crew, just handing him tools. He doesn't know how to work on motorcycles, but handing tools over the. So we got a photo of Dad clearly in deep thought over this motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing almost a face palm like you, Charles.
Oh
That's a lot of
yeah.
bike, man. That's a
Now-
lot of bike.
Fun fact, our Uncle Lang was running, I believe, top 5 in the race, Charles.
More
By
pictures?
far the best privateer / Canadian. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then the master cylinder on the handlebar started. Well, it decided to give up the ghost apparently, and you do need some brakes, especially coming off the high banks into chicanes and stuff.
It can be helpful.
Right. So
Brakes
Came in.
are fine.
and what do? You pull in like Dad would help gas, I guess. It's like, sup? It's like, need a new master cylinder. Okay, well, I know what that looks like. Say, grab the tool. Here's the tools. You start ripping that one off. I'll get the other one out. We'll get it ready to go. And so, of course, he didn't finish in the top 5 because of brake problems. I don't know if that was the BSA Milt, but I think, that was 76. Just seeing here, what do we got for photos? Can't incriminate the sister too much, I was told.
You can incriminate me. There's all good pictures of me in there.
Here you go. Early days of the fam.
Look, I'm such a cutie baby.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Yep.
look at Ben going topless.
All right.
Yep. Of course, we have Dad in his Mr. Maggie phase. This was the 20th anniversary. To the left of the photo, our infamous Uncle Lang, who raced the motorcycles. And on the far right of the photo, the mayor at the time, Charles.
Of course.
And this was with the sweatshirt.
I was gonna wear that sweatshirt tonight.
And I believe that's our Aunt Ann right behind him.
I think so
It
too.
is. Annie with her eyes closed.
Right on.
You gotta love the Mr. Maggie sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
it
Oh,
matched
okay.
the decor of the restaurant.
Oh, found color version of the shirt, Charles, from earlier, with apparently Nana not liking the hair length of Dad because look, geez,
There is judgment on that face.
Charles, I saw you
Nana
give
was
someone
full of
that a
judgment.
couple weeks ago. I'm just saying, you gave someone that look from the garage a couple weeks ago. Yeah. All right. How about we did that one? Oh. Well, that's just throwing Doug under the bus repeatedly.
Do it. Whatever, it's his face. You can't,
Well, I'll save them for
you can't
tomorrow.
deny the face.
Here we go. Doug's always talking about the Coombs boys. Here you go, Amanda. All 4 of the Coombs boys.
Aww.
It's be Dad on the left, Doug's father John, our Uncle Ken, and then our other Uncle
Dawn.
Don. Thank you. So, yeah. Dad with the auto tint glasses because that's how he rolls,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same photo. Here's 3 of the 4 much later, and then some guy who tried to grow a beard and failed miserably.
That's at my old house.
Yeah. Look at the beard on Doug. Jesus Christ.
My townhouse.
Looking good. See ya, Martin. Hey,
Hi,
Zach.
Martin.
You can take Martin's seat.
You
Thank
take
you.
care, Mark.
Oh, here we go. Early days of the restaurant, Amanda. You can tell because Dad hasn't gone gray yet.
Oh,
Great
how
picture.
cute they are.
That smile, though. That see, Mom's pure 80s. You can tell this is like 1986. But
Mhm.
if you looked at the old man, you're like 1982, carrying over from the 70s here. Like the man did not like to do a shirt up all the way. Is what I'm saying, Charles.
Nah. Why should he?
All right, now
No, but he didn't wear like the necklace.
Dart in hand, of course.
Oh, look, there's that.
How much do I look like Reynolds there, sis?
I know.
It's the haircut with the sideburns and the goatee. Super skinny.
I
Smoking a
just
dart.
love that he shows that picture willingly.
That's
Well,
great.
And I will say, it's at a wedding yet, if you notice the shoes. Still rocking like some Vans or something.
And,
Yeah, you are.
You know that conversation went like this. Ben, put on some good shoes.
You don't have a picture of me from that wedding, do you? It's awful.
No, I don't. I don't think so.
I had some very dark lipstick on. It was a lot.
It was not a good look.
It was like burgundy hair, auburn hair, burgundy dress, wine lips. Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Well, there was the quintessential 80s. For some reason, we decided to have a photo where it's Uncle John and Aunt Shirley, which are Doug's parents, and make it look like they have 4 kids because it's Amanda, me, and Barb, Joe, our cousin Barb. Oh, this is so 80s. All you're going to see is a lot of socks and no shorts, is what I'm saying, you know?
I feel like I have a perm. Oh yeah, I'm little with a perm.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I'm so cute.
Barb's running the female mullet. Doug's got a bowl cut. I'm just rocking it. I don't remember Uncle John ever having a stash, but it really ties in well with the trucker.
I don't either. It's fantastic.
And again, mid 80s, Charles, you know, because every hat in the giveaway was some big old trucker cap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, since it zoomed in, all right, there, throw me under the bus, like shorts. Yeah.
That's great.
There's more material in your socks than there is in your shorts.
'Twas the look, though, wasn't it?
Oh.
Oh, great.
Yeah. All right. I'll save the others for tomorrow night because we're gonna get up good. Oh yes. All right. There we go.
Oh, you gotta check.
Oh yeah, and then of course Charles doesn't know, but this was from the other night. The cat was pissed off because Charles was running late. As he
yes.
That's funny.
What the hell? It's 9:02. What the hell?
Where the fuck is he?
Oh, God, I love it.
Yeah, I believe I sent that to Charles. I'm like, TikTok.
You know, I need to send that photo because you sent that to me too, and I need to send it to my brother. He's got 3 cats, so he'll enjoy that.
Enjoyable.
Yeah. So, I asked her too. I was like, "Are you making an appearance tonight?" You know, because Trev and I were doing an off-air hang the other night. She hung out with us because I was upstairs. I didn't feel like coming down. It was after your show on Friday night, Charles. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
And the cat was trying to snooze, but every time Trevor would talk, she's like, "Who is saying that?" And then she'd look at the screen, and then she's like, "Is that a cat on the screen?" I'm like, "You numbnuts. It's me, and you're right next to me."
You gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I've clearly thrown myself under the bus tonight with the photo, so I appreciate it. You know, we'll say that's good for the super chats. Oh, and Charles, I have a gift for you.
Uh-oh.
That was once owned by my father.
Oh.
I found your guitar pick.
Oh, that is so
Oh,
cool.
are you going to give that to him? That's such a great pick.
That is so cool.
And
That's
just
like
to know,
childhood.
the size of an actual pick.
Yeah.
Now, I got to tell
That's
you, Charles, there's a
fantastic.
story behind it. Okay.
Okay.
Well, this pick went to every gig. Okay, and I forgot it was in the guitar case because
Like the good luck charm.
No, it would sit on his amp.
Uh-huh.
Okay, because a lot of the places he would play, you know, some of them even have chicken wire up.
Mm-hmm.
You'll inevitably have the super. Hi, I play like Glenn Campbell. Can I borrow your time? Play some Glenn Campbell. And that, rather than telling him where to go, you know, because of lack of security, he'd say, "Sure, here's my pick." And it, "Oh, gee, can't use that." And then they wander off and he'd head back for the next stroke.
That is cool. That is a cool story.
Very much like the Blues Brothers, Blue Mox. He played both kinds of music, country and the Western. Because Dad did more contemporary / outlaw. Like he did 3 or 4 Willie tunes. He did George Strait stuff. Oh, Dad did George Strait. Oh, ooh, forget it. Better than George in many ways.
That's my favorite song. My favorite that he ever sang was George Strait. Not that I'm like a huge country fan, but
No.
yeah, I won't be able to ever get through those. That You Look So Good in Love. That'll be like the worst for me to ever get through.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I can't listen to that song.
I'm not gonna be listening to that or Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain.
No, exactly. So, and so he would do that stuff, and of course, and then whereas Al would do the like right down to, I remember there was a couple songs that had yodeling involved, and I'm like, if there's yodeling, well, you know that's full on, Charles. Like that's capital fucking C, capital W. You know,
That's a whole nother. It's a whole nother.
Yeah. Like, oof, yeah, like story songs, and I don't remember what Kevin sang too much. Wherever he's fucking told, probably. Here's the songs that the old bass players sang. Learn them. Because he was like 18 when he joined the band.
Yeah, he was young.
They needed a bass player so bad that he was not only underage to drink in the bars, he couldn't drink, he didn't even own a bass. The band,
I had such a crush on him when I was little too.
The band bought the bass, and then wages garnished to pay for said bass. You know, we're not taking all your money. Just thank you, Dean.
Yeah.
Now, I believe Charles, you wanted to know about the van.
Yes.
So the van, as you saw in the thumbnail, the van. So that thing, with the name on the side with 2 phone numbers. I don't know. I know the bright number was Al's. I don't know who. I think
we should call it.
The other one was either Wooler or Stockdale. I can never remember which is which because one's 397, one's 398. One's Wooler, one's Stockdale.
Mm-hmm.
397
I think it's Stockdale.
is Stockdale. I thought 398 was Frankfurt.
Or maybe it was Frankfurt. Same thing.
Yeah, 397 is Wooler and Stockdale.
It means nothing to anybody that lives more than 3 minutes away from us. Yeah, so actually,
now you all know. Okay.
Amanda already lives far enough away from that.
Super important what landline numbers were.
So, yeah, maybe they had a booking agent briefly because there was another guitar player in the band before Dad, and that was like the band started with another guitar player. He wasn't really working out. Dad found them as much as they found, because I think, yes, because our father, not being the small town thinker, joined the musicians union, not even being in a fucking band. Why? Because the grapevine. Hey, this guy just quit the band.
Yeah.
Much like myself, much later, I look for the busier bands in the area. I went, need an extra guy? Dad did the same thing.
Here you go. The way to do it.
Smart man.
Yeah. So the van, Al had the van, which what you don't see in the video, the photo, folks, is you only see the side view. We used to see, Amanda didn't see it because she wasn't tall enough to see it, but I'd see that thing pull into our driveway, and I could just see the blue mohair around the windshield because dash was done. We're talking baby blue and about that long, okay? With the matching baby blue seat covers, Charles.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, oh yeah. And of course, me growing up on fucking Simon and Dukes of Hazzard and the fucking Smoking Bandit, that's the coolest van. It looks like one of my fucking Hot Wheels. Like side plate, Like I was just like, what? This is it,
Oh yeah.
Like, and Dad hated the van. He's like, oh my god, this is such cheesy 70s van. We're 80s. We're not. But 4 captain seats Al had. Right, 2 captain seats and a bench. He did 4 captain seats. Which sucks for Randy later. He was the full-time sound man. He had to sit on a speaker cab wherever they go, up to an hour away.
Poor Randy.
Not only no seatbelt, no seat. And so, and the gear packed in, including PA system, maybe some lights. I can't remember. I know they had their own PA, plus the gear. the four of them, and that's how you knew. I knew it was Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Like when Dad played out of town, all of a sudden he'd be just wrapped up there, like, "Oh, your kids are done because I need to get the dishes." And it was one of those. Your mother's not going to be home for an hour. If anything happens, call Eva across the road. I'm like, all right. I'm 9. I'm sure I can look after the 5-year-old. Sure.
That's what we did back then.
I was a very intelligent 5-year-old. Come on now.
Well, you had to be with this one, right?
Duh.
Right, and I was saying, like, because Mom worked as a waitress until about 8 p.m., so type thing.
Yeah.
It was just, okay, And usually, I think even at that time, it was like one of the neighborhood kids would be coming over to look after us anyway. So it's like, they're not here yet. That's like, fuck it, I gotta go. The band's and they're like, go, you go do the music. Don't worry about it, And then people would come over, and Dad played every Legion between Kingston and Bowmanville, and far north is Peterborough, and
yeah,
a lot of roadhouses. The days where it was your book Thursday, Friday, Saturday matinee, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday matinee, or Friday, Saturday matinee and Saturday night. Oofed up, mate. That was
fun.
Long ones, and you played 4-5 sets, depending, because it's whatever till close or whatever. Thank God, last call was at 1 a.m. and not 2 a.m. yet. There was that. And sometimes they had places to stay out of town. Sometimes it was drive back and forth. Because that's what they tried to stay not too much more than an hour and a half from home, so you could make it home, save on the money.
Yeah.
So because all these guys, they all had day jobs, and as Dad said, we're just shitty cover band. It's like, you guys are all right.
They're good.
They did the thing, and like I'm watching, and even like the heyday, because I was like, he was in the band 84 to 86, and so I'm ages 10 through 12, and becoming a music fan, like age 10, you're full on.
Mm-hmm.
I ever played the Tweedsmere and Tweed? Oh yeah, Milt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's up, DD Files? So getting into music, I'm realizing it's not any music I really like, but there's something about the whole thing. So if Dad's like, if I had a chance to tag along to band practice, I did. All those Sterling festivals, I'm there because it was because those were daytime showcases and stuff. And I was just a fly on the wall. I was told to just keep your mouth shut, stay out of the way. You're not supposed to be here. That was rule number 1. You're not supposed to be here. Whether we were allowed or not was irrelevant. And then luckily, if Ma had the day off, she would come along with Amanda a couple hours later for the actual show.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to be there right from load in, Charles, till load out.
Yeah, just see the goings on.
And I knew what bars you could play and paid well and which bars were shite because, again, you'd be standing outside and anybody that's gigged at all can relate that you got like 6 bands on a bill that all play the same circuit. They're all talking shop outside. They're smoking cigarettes, passing a Mickey bottle around, a Southern Comfort.
But
it's sipping whiskey. And I'm just absorbing, like, oh yeah, don't play the Legion and Porto. Fuck those guys. The Legion and Coburg just said, oh yeah, they're good. Oh, they're all right. Like, all right. Okay, good to know. Okay. And so Bruce says you got to be exposed to the gear and the atmosphere. No. I can't say that because, again, 6 bands play a wall of PV. If anyone ever watched Nashville Tonight, same thing. It's like Kate, you swear PV sponsored because it's all solid state for the country and everybody had their own PV amp. And Dad did not play the Key to Bala. He did not play that.
no.
Ended up there a couple of occasions. How would I get all the way up here? I don't even like the north. So yeah, and Dad was usually semi-organizing those events too. So he was but he was on and and he did, and I will say it. He did take that Country Rangers, which was just another okay bar band, and really professionally, like he eliminated all drinking during shows.
Yep.
You could have a beer at most. If you're doing 4 sets, Trev, you could have 1 beer after the 3rd set before the 4th. Okay? And then another beer for loadout.
There you go.
Yeah.
But because Dad didn't drink, for one thing, and he didn't want to play around with sloppy drunks, because that's just wasting your time, son. As you'd say, you're just wasting your time, son. He's like, you play sober on stage. I'm like, no, far fucking from it, Dad. He's like, you're just. I'm like, I'm just having fun. Don't worry about it, Dad. You know. And then you'd hear us play. It's too much gain, anyways. You ain't going anywhere. Rock C tunings and your high gain bullshit. Save it for the grad.
See, that was one of the questions I was going to ask. Did your dad ever go to any of your shows? Did he ever go check you out?
All right. So with One Day to Live, he showed up at my very first show for sound check. He's out of here. Like, okay, I heard, because he's just like, I'm not interested. Mom wanted to come out to have a drink, because it was like one of the last times Mom had a drink.
Yeah.
But it was funny because he was watching one file in too, Charles, and it was a Adopt a Child program show, which was clothes for underprivileged kids,
right?
For Christmas. And fortunately, at Sticks and Stones capacity, 100 people, 110 maybe, because it's a pool hall with all the pool tables still there. We have the fire hall right across the street, who co-sponsors the event, okay? And so what I had done, because I had a sound production company previous year and a half, so I was familiar with the scene. We were able to I joined the band that's headlining. We put on the show together, essentially. Because we agreed to do the show together before I joined the band. We had Rich's band open for us, a couple others. I'm doing the rehearsals. Biggest venue in town. Got the radio station involved because they're the other people that do the program. Rick Kevin, who we've known since we were children, because we used to sponsor the Blue Jays games for Maggie's Restaurant on the Blue Jays broadcast in the 80s. So Rick, who used to MC the Sterling events too, he was MC half the time, didn't even know it, okay, Charles, because the local rock station used to be a country station in the 80s, before on AM, before they went to an FM rock station. All of a sudden, fast forward, it's, I don't know what fucking year that was, 2013, we'll say, for the sake of argument, 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, Rick, can I come on and plug the thing? He's like, sure. So, I'm live on the air. We play one of the band's songs. He got in trouble because it's a classic rock only format. We're not classic rock. We're not SOCAN approved. We're not copywritten. There's none of that stuff.
Did all the wrong stuff.
Every time I turned on the radio, Charles, to drive somewhere, every afternoon drive time, between songs, Rick's plugging the event. This is getting kind of big. We had, give or take, 300 people crammed into the place.
Nice.
Between every pool. And the funny part is, because we're doing sound check, we're getting ready, people are already filing in because it's a big deal. The people are showing up 2 hours early. And the old man's like, you swear he's got a counter, like a bouncer. He's like, ticket.
Click.
Well, maybe the boy's on to something, Charles. And then they're like, well, we might as well head out because the place is getting packed and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. It was crazy. And he's like, how was it? Because they're both up. We got home 4 a.m. Great. How'd you play? I don't know what happened. What do you mean? I'm so nervous. Because I looked up, sea of people. And I'm like, I've done sound in this bar for years, Charles, and there's maybe 75 people. Like, to the point where we played our first single off the album, which everyone was enjoying at the time. There was I'm like, what the fuck? Bar? What is going on?
You love it.
Yeah. And then, of course, playing with that band, I'm playing all the same bars that the old man played 30 years earlier. That guy's still running the place. No, Dad. He played there in 1985. That guy probably had a heart attack in 1993. They ever fix the stage there? Nah, it's the same old shitty stage. Ah, yeah. Lisa's, yeah. This place still got that. Yeah, the wire is shit. Yeah, not surprised. You're playing the old hotels, and stuff, as you call it. The old downtown venues, the downtown hotels.
Hotel.
Yes. So, on that note, someone has to put somebody to bed.
Yes.
I just looked on the time.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wrap things up here, folks. So I will be back tomorrow night with Canucks with Guitars featuring me, because I'm on the show. Right here on the channel. Subscribe. Road to 5K. Did we hit 5K? Let's quickly look on that. Refreshing. We're one away. Is
One
there somebody
away.
working who hasn't hit that subscribe button yet? Is there somebody that maybe has their alternate troll account that's sitting dormant?
Thanks for the love on my TARDIS mug.
It was fun.
Yeah. So thank you, Charles and Trev, for hanging out with Amanda and me, keeping us sane. And
It was our honor.
Last hanging
Really.
out here. Yeah,
I didn't cry. I didn't cry once.
tell them that last story. I got damn close.
That's pretty good. I did pretty good.
Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. We still got 80 people tuned in. We may have a guest tomorrow night. Hence me saving photos. So if you've been paying attention, kids, it's right. The TARDIS mug is bigger on the inside, Steve.
Yes. Much.
Yeah, so I'll have some tunes played badly. Well, no, I play them to avoid copyright, Charles. That's what it was.
That's right.
We had a term that sounded
Ultimate.
much better.
Well,
And speaking of riff, we figured out. I got to do April Wine riff. Figured it out for him. So
Yeah.
excellent.
yeah, hell of a character. I'll say that for sure.
Now I'm gonna cry.
I know. So on that note, hold those doors open. Let Trev in ahead of you. He's moving. He's got a lot of. He's got to back and forth.
We're going to be making
We're
a
getting
lot of trips.
together, happy tone chasing. Excuse me. We love each and every one of you. And again, I'll be back with
That's been fantastic.
videos coming out this week of stuff. And and we'll do a 5,000 subscriber hang next week. So it could be, I don't know.
Lots
same
of
people
exciting
again?
things.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have Bo come on. That'll be fun. So group hang. Ease back into this whole YouTube things. All right. Peace, folks.
Cheers, ma'am.